comes to experiencing culture or local hospitals, probably not among the first places that come to mind. But as arts editor Jared Bowen shows us, several local hospitals have found art can play a key role in the healing process.
Art lines the walls. It hovers overhead. It climbs upward in shimmering silver twists. This is a museum-quality collection in a most non-museum-like place.
It is a program that I started about 15 years ago when there were 4 posters on the wall.
Today, there are more than 1,500 works of art at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, where art is a fundamental component of patient care.
This is our signature piece.
Jane Mayer is the longtime champion of Dana-Farber's art program, where about 65% of the work has been donated. It's a program that's been increasingly adapted by hospitals across the country. As more and more studies reveal, art is a positive influence on treatment.
We know that it reduces stress.
The collection here is a blue chip one, featuring a jaw-dropping roster of acclaimed artists. There's Jeff Koons' Vase of Flowers and William Wegman's iconic dogs. Just like a museum, it even comes with its own audio tour.
This magnificent bird is Rising Crane.
But not just anything can be on view here. Dana-Farber typically avoids installing works featuring food, or that might be dizzying, or that are predominantly black or red.
The red has a connotation to some of the chemotherapy drugs that patients are receiving, so they really get a visceral reaction.
No, this one, use this one. Yeah.
Across town at Massachusetts General Hospital, art also complements care. Every Wednesday, Jonathan Zucker is the artist in residence here, painting, talking with patients, listening.
It really just underscores a lot of what I've already learned. Is like the worst in times brings out the best in people.
It's something Zucker learned firsthand. He spent months at MGH with his father, Michael, who ultimately died of cancer 13 years ago. He says they'd spend hours looking at the work by local artists featured here.
We both turned into art critics. That filled the space of normally when we would be, kind of wondering what was happening next.
Zucker was an obvious choice for the artist in residence. Most of us already know his work as it relates to cancer. He designed the Conquer Cancer license plate that now adorns more than 5,000 cars in Massachusetts.
So it's a candle, it's the eternal flame with the teardrop. And it's that kind of dueling emotion that you go through when you travel the cancer journey. And the sun in the background, it's either a sunrise or a sunset.
Zucker's MGH creations are vibrant and universal. The cityscape that he sees outside the hospital windows. The sports icons who consume our Sundays. Or scenes that remind him of his seaside studio in Rockport. But they all bear the influence of his father.
He's like, you know what, the one thing you can do for me is stay positive. And so the colors I use, the texture I use, honestly, the energy I paint with, it comes from that advice from him to stay positive.
Jared Bowen joins me now. Hey, Jared.
Hi.
I knew nothing about this. How'd you get onto this story?
Well, Jim, it was actually through a very personal experience. A very close family member of mine was being treated at one of the Dana-Farber satellite centers, and walking out one day, I noticed this beautiful glass piece. It caught my attention. I walked over, read the label, and was just struck by this really terrific piece of art. So it made me wonder, after I came out of that with my family member, what the hospitals do, because I'd started to notice that those generic pieces of art had disappeared from walls, and real pieces of art, those are pieces of art, but handmade, were going up.
Yeah, I love the idea, but what is an artist in residence do? This guy at MGA, how does that help? I mean, I love the concept, as I say. How does it help heal?
It's pretty interesting. What I saw that day, and just the volunteer you saw in the piece, people are drawn. I mean, when you think about why you're in the hospital, especially in a cancer situation, you're going through a lot. Whether you're going through the treatment yourself and feel horrible, or you're there with a family member, to see somebody making, to see somebody creating, to see something so aberrant for the situation, the environment you're in, it changes what you feel.
So these hospital leaders hope this might work, or do they say they know that it does?
There's more and more research being done that has been done over the last 10 years, but what they find is patients really respond to the fact that the hospitals have created an environment that shows that they care, that they're making it hospitable, and they want to improve your experience there for however horrible it may be.
Makes total sense to me. Jared, thanks. Good to see you, Jared Bowen.